Welcome to another episode of Road to Recovery with your host, Recovery Lord. And today, before we get into today's group, I want to shout out my sister Tavana Lewis for successfully graduating and getting her master's degree in education. So congratulations to Vonnie for that major milestone and accomplishment. Definitely, hopefully, that inspires others to continue your education. Sometimes we get tired of certain fields of work. We get tired of being stuck in boxes or, in certain modes. The best way to get out of that is an education. Unless your last name is Zuckerberg or Musk, then, ignore everything I just said because opportunity constantly knocks on your door. But if your last name is not Carter, then maybe, just maybe, going and getting an education can be the key to unlock the best and next chapter in your life. So what do I want to speak on today? So shout out to my sister Tavana Lewis. I'm going to also shout out my mom, Star, for catching up with us and being up on these groups. I appreciate that. And shout out to everyone who's been showing me love from day one. And that type of feedback that I get is the motivation to help me keep going. Some people might have thought, well, I was going to be doing this while my leg was broke and while I was recovering. But once I got better, then it was going to be, with a bunch of distractions and I wouldn't be able to. But lo and behold, it's June 1st and we're still here on this road to recovery. So shout out to everyone who is still on this road to recovery with me. And what do I want to talk about today? Today, I want to talk about myths about addiction and recovery. Some myths about addiction and recovery. We've all heard myths out there. The number one that I hear all the time is, well, Mr. Mason, Recovery Lord, once I stop drinking, once I stop getting high, that's when I'm going to get sick, because that's what happened to my cousin's nephew's former barber's roommate. Well, I'm going to say this. If you're thinking like that, that is a clear sign of your addiction doing the thinking for you, because there is no way that you constantly poisoning yourself daily is what's keeping you alive. Nobody in a right mind thinks like that. So let's go right into it. Facts versus myths. There is a lot of misinformation in circulation about addiction and recovery. Much of it is damaging enough that it may discourage people from asking for help. The end result is that people with a substance abuse problem simply don't receive the treatment they need. So here are a few myths about addicts, addiction, and recovery that need to be busted. Myths, facts, and fiction about addiction and recovery. Myth 1, drug addiction is a choice. Fact, most medical experts believe that substance abuse is a chronic disease that can happen to anyone. Using it for the first time may have been the choice. But once dependence starts, there is little choice left. No one wants to be an addict. They can only choose to end their addiction. However, recovery takes more than a single decision. It takes commitment and hard work. So, as soon as you say work and commitment, some people start itching and they're allergic to it. And that's why we realize and understand why out of 20 people, only 2 people actually recover, because it takes commitment and hard work. And I like how they said recovery, the decision to make, to choose recovery is the only decision, or maybe using it for the first or second time might have been a decision. But we know that addiction is 100% not just a choice and a decision. How do we know this? Because there are babies that are born addicted to alcohol, addicted to pills. Did those babies make that decision? I mean, a choice was made, but in that case, that's somebody else making a decision for somebody without them making one for themselves. So it's not all 100% just a choice. I don't think people are choosing to throw some of their life away from chasing this stuff. Myth number two. Individuals with an addiction need to hit rock bottom before seeking help. Now, true indeed, this doesn't have to happen, but I will say, in a lot of cases, especially with people stubborn and feeling like they shit don't stink, and as long as, they got a car, as long as they get 40 hours a week, then there's nothing wrong with whatever it is they doing. I wish consequences didn't have to happen for some people to change, but unfortunately, that I've come to understand that comes with the territory. So myth 2, individuals with an addiction need to hit rock bottom before seeking rehab. Fact, in some cases this is true, but if the person is surrounded by a strong and caring support network, they can be encouraged to seek help long before they reach the bottom. Recognizing addiction early is crucial. But now, because people don't, it's a lot of people, unfortunately, that don't want to take heed. Take heed is only somebody who make goddamn beats. Take heed, F these N's, capital or lowercase, up. That's who take heed is. Or take heed hits too hard, or this too hard, or whatever. But other than that, it's a lot of people who for whatever reason have to go through the motions. They have to go broke to understand why budgeting means so much. They have to fall down or hit a pothole. They have to hit the pothole, mess their rim up, need a new tire to understand of taking a time. Number 3, people with substance use disorders are bad people. You would think that people don't think like that, but you'd be surprised. 3, people with substance use disorders are bad people. Fact, addiction is caused by a chemical dependence in the brain. See, addiction starts off psychologically and eventually goes and works itself into a physical issue. It's not a moral weakness or character flaw. It may cause someone to do bad things in order to feed their addiction. However, they are not an addict because they are a bad person. They simply made some poor decisions along the way. So thinking someone is a bad person because they have an addiction, hopefully people not that sounds like something that from the 80s or 90s. Hopefully nobody in 2026 is thinking like this. Number 4, myth number 4. If I need rehab, I am weak. Again, this sounds like something from the 80s or 90s, or You know, y'all can see what I got going on. So, you know, in my era, as being a man, being a guy, you're not supposed to admit weakness. That is unattractive. Now, some people do, they passive aggressive, they'll say it's sassy and stuff like that. When you admit in certain issues that you have in, or you speaking on certain things. But if you need rehab, you are not weak. If anything, admitting that you have a weakness is a strength. Now, dwelling on that weakness and using that weakness as a crutch is not a strength. It'll help you benefit or bend to fit in the box that you could check off when you go fill out some of them forms. Because when you go to certain buildings ran by the state, you better take weaknesses in there with you. Matter of fact, they can't help you unless you have a bunch of weaknesses. If you get 2 checks, if you get 1 check a month, they might say you don't qualify. So now we got people looking to see how they're going to be able to bend into this box benefit. So fact, the physical dependence and psychological impact of addiction can overwhelm even the strongest individual. Asking for help is a sign of strength and maturity, like I was saying. You are taking responsibility for your actions and trying to get back in control or get back into the driver's seat of your life, because this is your life we talking about. So knowing that you need help is a sign of strength, and getting that help is even stronger. What you don't want to do is admit certain things and constantly talk about certain things and never follow through. Because if you talk a good talk, that's just talking a good talk. You want to walk a good walk. And how I was told is it's only a dream when it sounds good and it's something that's a possibility. So it's a dream. It becomes a goal when you start putting effort behind that vision and towards that vision. Number 5, I can't leave my life for treatment. Number 5, I can't leave my life for treatment. What does that mean for people not in recovery? I got people that'll tell me, well, before I go to detox, I got to get my stamps and I got to make sure it's a bunch of food in the house for the kids, because I'm be gone for 2 and 3 days. Or, you know, before I go to detox and treatment, I'm going to wait till this one graduate, because graduation around the corner. I'm a wait until this happens. I'm a wait till I get my credit better. I'm a do all this. There is no better time like the here and now. Not only is there not any better time than the here and now, some people would say the only time that we have is the here and now. Because the past is gone. You can learn from the past. And the future has not come yet. Not only has it not come yet, I don't know if y'all seen this before in certain books, but it says it's not promised to anyone either. So all we have is the here and now. So keep putting off. You ever see people put stuff off so much that it's 2027? Or it's 6 months from now? It's a year from now? Putting stuff off, excuse me. I can't leave my life for treatment. Myth number 5. Fact. Rehab is more of a pause, and you'll only be putting your life on hold for a relatively short while. Stepping away allows you to focus fully on recovery, to understand and change the behaviors that led to addiction, and to develop coping strategies to deal with temptations and cravings. So, is drinking every day really living? That's a question. So you talk about putting your life on hold. If you've been drinking for 10 years because you depressed and you still depressed now, but you've been drinking all these years, ain't that putting stuff on hold? Isn't addiction putting things on hold? Because see, they'll legalize marijuana and have a dispensary on every corner. They don't care if you're going to smoke your new car up. If that's what you want to do. If you want to smoke your new car up, they're going to let you do it. Number 6, myth number 6. Going to rehab is the only way to treat addiction. Fact. Inpatient rehab centers are not the only treatment option for addiction. There are many options available, most of which do not involve inpatient care, although it may be necessary in some cases. Fun fact, in Baltimore, Maryland, a lot of people go inpatient because they don't have a place to stay, not because addiction. So when I worked at certain places, when you do a person's intake, when they realize they can't have a television in their room, they'll start saying things like, oh, I don't think this is the program for me. Well, you're not here to watch TV. You here to recover and get better. But see, the crazy thing is, programs and people have realized in order to get people to come to recovery, you got to dangle all these damn carrots in front of them. The main carrot is you hopefully living longer and adding value to your life. Shouldn't nobody have to twist your arm to do that for you? It shouldn't have to come with a Wi-Fi password, some bed and breakfast, y'all feed us. Again, the biggest reward and the biggest flex, hopefully, is you adding longevity to your lifespan. You getting a relationship back that's been missing because you replaced that relationship with addiction. You replace that relationship with a bottle or with a pill. And you don't have to just go inpatient. They got outpatient places where you go in, get a group. They got free groups at some of these churches and places. East, West Baltimore. Use Google. Get on your phone and Google groups near me. If you think you got to give a blood sample and you got to jump through all these hoops to get a group in. No, that's not the case. Sometimes we be walking past these groups on our way to go cop or on our way to the bar. While they're available and while they exist, utilize them. You don't know if it's going to work if you don't never utilize it. Number 8, myth number 8, I only need to detox. Fact, detox fully removes the addictive substance from your system. However, this is only the first step in recovery. Detox breaks the chemical dependence, but does not address the underlying mental or emotional issues that caused the addiction in the first place. Without a full understanding, patients are more likely to relapse. A full recovery program will help you heal physically and emotionally. So now we get into the root of some things. Addiction is sometimes an emotional disease. We keep talking about how addiction is a disease this, disease that, and it could be looked at that because it could be looked as a disease, because if it's not treated, it's only going to get worse, like any other chronic disease. So, but look at that. It's an emotional disease. So a lot of times people got to get their emotions together, understand them, get them back under control. Learn how to process and deal with your emotions. Number 8, I don't need treatment for withdrawal symptoms. I can quit cold turkey. And if you're around people who've done this, they're going to tell you this the same way you got to do it. And a lot of times they're going to suggest this when they see you not trying to make a decision for yourself. So people want to step in and start making decisions for you. Fact, when you suddenly stop using drugs or alcohol, you will experience strong and possibly dangerous withdrawal symptoms. These include anxiety, nausea, vomiting, mood swings, muscle pain, insomnia, or seizures. Many are uncomfortable enough that a person will relapse just to ease them. More severe symptoms, such as seizures, can result in serious injury or death. Tapering off slowly under medical supervision is the safest, most comfortable way to quit. Rehab programs ease the discomfort and protect you from unforeseen medical issues. One of the number one issues is shock. Because if you ever been around somebody coming off opiates, heroin, fentanyl, if you ever been around somebody that's coming off of that, they vomiting a lot. They using the bathroom constantly. They sweating. They losing so many fluids that shock is a possibility why they need to be monitored. 2, even someone who drinks every day, all day. That's a dangerous detox. You have to be monitored. Some of them are shakes, seizures. These can be life-threatening. So just being cold turkey, it depends on how severe your addiction is. So if your addiction is not that severe, then, try. The thing is stop coming up with excuses and just get to doing some stuff. Start putting things in motion. Number 9, relapse myth. Number 9, relapse means treatment has failed. Fact, many people in recovery relapse and return to alcohol or drug use during or after treatment. It is normal and even expected during the process. Relapse merely indicates that treatment needs to be adjusted. Addiction is a disease, and like other medical conditions, it may need to be treated several times before success is achieved. So if you have relapsed, you have gone back to doing certain things, it doesn't mean that it's not possible. It doesn't mean that you're not getting better. It means that whatever you're doing or have been doing, it may need to be adjusted to a degree so you can have even better outcomes. Recovery is a multi-step process, and sometimes people slip along the way. Relapse is just another step along the road to full recovery. And we on that road. It's not just the name of a slick ass thing that I put on YouTube. It is a road, but like any other road, it's twists, it's turns, it's dips, it's bumps, it's potholes. It's all type of unforeseen things on this road. And any good driver, any good pedestrian on that road, if you not driving and you walking, then you looking both ways before you cross that street. If you are on that road, then you driving and you moving at a pace where you can make adjustments. You're not going so fast, and they keep saying all this shit in life, such and such, no brakes. Such and such, all gas, no brakes. Well, you need to be moving at a pace where you can see something and move around it and make the necessary adjustments. As my barber / homeboy, Jabari Natur, would say, life is about making the necessary adjustments. Myth 10. Medication-assisted treatment trades one addiction for another. Medicated-assisted treatment, affectionately known as MET in Baltimore, but it's MAT anywhere else. But here it's MET, medically assisted treatment, and people sometimes will talk shit to you and say, man, you just replacing one drug for another. But if you out there in the street and you've been getting your medication from Lexington Market and Huffman and all these other spots and all that, then you're replacing something that may have 3 and 4 cuts on it with something that is being monitored and regulated by the state of Maryland. So it's not just replacing one drug for another. And normally what MET does is it helps a person deal with certain, they normally only use MET for 2 types of substances, opiates and alcohol. And if you have been using those for years, then coming off those, one, withdrawal could be life-threatening, or detox can be life-threatening. So they got to help you through that. But they don't just give you that medication. They also give you counseling along with it. That's the appropriate approach. Those 2 things simultaneously. So for some addictions are treated with medication. These medications have few side effects and reduce both withdrawal symptoms and the risk of overdose. They ease cravings and help rebalance brain chemicals, making the rehab process safer and more comfortable and more likely to be successful. So if you detoxing and you going through pain, then of course that can make a person quit. So if this is going to make you more comfortable, it's going to increase the likelihood and possibility of success. And we in it to win it. Myth 11. Addiction treatment is too expensive. Fact, some programs are expensive, but there are many less costly options available. Medical insurance and government programs can cover the costs. And many community or 12-step support groups, Alcoholics Anonymous and Narcotics Anonymous, where I read the NA, the Just for Today. A lot of those programs are free. It's free. A lot of them are free. So it's not a lot of excuses. My mother told me an excuse is like an asshole. Number 12, myth 12. Once rehab ends, I'm on my own. Fact, every recovery program offers many options for aftercare support, group meetings, outpatient counseling services, sober living programs, and alumni events to remind you that you're not alone. They help you deal with the temptations to relapse and give you tools to help keep you on your path. Here in Baltimore, it's a big convention out Ocean City every year. And you see people with the coins, the NA coins, and they all go out there, and it's a massive event. And thousands of people go. They used to have something here called March Madness. over in West Baltimore somewhere. I forgot the street. And it's a bunch of different vendors. But again, we have this thing called Google. So use that search engine. Use ChatGPT and Claude and all these things, not just to make slick ass pictures and to do bust down things for your Instagram and TikTok. Stop just using AI for that dumb shit. Use AI to find out where there are groups in your area. Use AI to talk about events, sober events, where people are coming together in the common theme of recovery. It's a brotherhood. Utilize it. Utilize it. You don't know who you could meet. You don't know how much of an impact that can have on your life. You might be able to find a sponsor, especially if you never had one. What's stopping you from trying that? If we talking about you fighting for your life, and recovery is about life and death, then you supposed to give your strongest fight that you ever gave. When your life is on the line, even if you corner a goddamn mouse as little as he is, if he know his life is on the line, he gonna bite you. So put up your biggest fight. This is your life we talking about. And how it's no value you could put on that. And with that, you're right, with that, we're going to put our hands together and we're going to say, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back. More will be revealed for you, by you, because of you. We pray for the addict who picked up for the first time today, not realizing what they was getting their damn self into. And we pray for the addict who put down for the last time today, and hopefully is ready to move forward in the next and best chapter of their life. You guys don't know how much you inspire other people to know it's possible for them too. So God bless you. Remember, it's your responsibility to live a life better than the one you was given permission to. And I also want to say, go New York, go New York, go. Everybody from everybody from New York now. And listening to 90s hip hop and the Locks, and they doing it major. Joey Crack streams out through the roof. Let's get it. Let's get it. We're looking forward to it. Let's make it happen. And yeah, with that, see you on the next episode.